All right, System Terminal is live. Welcome, focused learners, to the Silicon Valley Cambridge Exam Hackathon. I'm your lead dev today, and we are logging directly into the system architecture to decode the Cambridge Accounting 9706 syllabus. Specifically, we're targeting what I like to call the target mainframe, those high-tariff, heavily weighted past paper prompts focusing on three interconnected metrics that constantly cause system crashes for candidates. We're talking about dividend per share, dividend yield, and dividend cover. We aren't just going to look at the raw formulas. We are getting an inside look at exactly what the examiner algorithms demand straight from the source code. Now, to help us navigate this, I want to introduce you to two developers on our team. First, we have Dev Alex. Now, Alex is incredible at raw data inputs, calculating the exact dividend numbers perfectly, but constantly causes memory leaks in the final grade because of incredibly poor analysis. Then we have Dev Sam. Sam is a genius at logical loops and reasoning, but totally fails the syntax precision rules, meaning presentation and formatting. By the end of this session, you are going to learn how to combine the best of both and treat your essay or complex multi-part problem exactly like a piece of optimized code.
So if you've ever looked at a past paper prompt on this dividend topic and felt like you were staring at a broken compiler, wondering how to actually evaluate the evidence, believe me, you are not alone. Principal examiner reports tell us time and time again that this specific area of dividend analysis is universally misunderstood. It's a massive bug in the system. Students like Dev Alex know the math, they crunch the variables perfectly, but then they completely freeze when asked to draw meaningful conclusions. Well, tease your brain with this. The patch for this bug isn't doing more math. The fix is something we call the method mark strategy, and we're going to break down exactly how to script it today.
Okay, let's dive into this command matrix. Our highly structured roadmap today is 1. Core principles, 2. The procedural framework, 3. Top examiner warnings, and 4. Deconstruct, solve, evaluate.
Starting with Section 1, Core Principles, moving beyond superficial breadth. Let's load it up.
To truly master this subject and write clean code, we have to move way beyond just hard-coding textbook definitions into our answers. We have to understand the theoretical foundations and the specific cognitive domains that the Cambridge syllabus is actively targeting. You see, Dev Alex usually goes for superficial breadth. Alex sees the word dividend in the prompt and just starts listing generic facts. It's basically a data dump. But the Cambridge assessment framework heavily prioritizes analytical depth. The examiners are actively looking for structured, logical reasoning that connects directly to the specific business context of the question. You have to show a connected, conceptual understanding that you can transfer to entirely unfamiliar scenarios, almost like writing a scalable function that works no matter what variables you plug into it.
The syllabus actually breaks this analytical depth into three distinct cognitive domains, like 3 levels of user permissions. Knowledge and understanding is just your baseline access. That's knowing your fundamental principles and variables, like knowing that dividend yield measures the return on investment based on the current share price, or that dividend cover shows how many times a company could theoretically pay its current dividend out of available profits. But to be a top-performing student, you have to escalate your privileges across the next 2 levels. You need analysis, which is your logical, structured reasoning, and finally, evaluation, which is where you question assumptions and justify your decisions. If you are only showing knowledge, like Alex does, you are capping your score before you even finish compiling the first page.
Let's execute Section 2, the procedural framework. This is the method mark strategy.
This is the beautiful part of the exam where you can earn points simply for showing professional process, even if your final calculation throws an error. Practical application isn't just about math, it is about following strict syntax rules. Now, this is exactly where Dev Sam fails. Sam writes great logic but ignores the syntax. Proper headings, correct terminology, appropriate formats, and clear annotation. In the professional accounting world, presentation is everything. It's just like code formatting. If it's messy, it won't run. The examiners are testing your professional skills just as much as your numerical ones. If you calculate the perfect dividend cover but bury it in a messy, unlabeled paragraph, you are literally throwing away easy points. Treat every single answer like a professional, perfectly formatted report to a board of directors.
Wait, halt the compile screen. Before we push this final patch to secure those maximum marks, you need to optimize your own system feed. Subscribe to Ace the Exams right now and turn on all notifications for weekly system updates. Seriously, hit that button. Okay, system resumed. Once your formatting syntax is locked in, you need to execute your data interpretation skills. Now, imagine Alex and Sam hit a massive logic error mid-argument here. To debug it, we deploy a specific syntax structure called PEEL, point, evidence, explanation, and link. First, you make your point by extracting the correct data from the texts. Second, provide the evidence. Third, formulate your explanation by interpreting the relationships, like how does the dividend per share relate to the overall earnings? And finally, link it back by drawing an evidence-based conclusion. Don't just state that the dividend cover is 2 times. Use the Peel logic to say, because the dividend cover is 2 times, the company has retained sufficient earnings for future growth while still rewarding shareholders. That instantly upgrades your paragraph and clears the logic error.
Moving into Section 3, Top Examiner Warnings. Avoiding classic traps. Let's look at the bug reports.
I need your absolute focus in this beta testing arena because we are looking at the unvarnished truth directly from the principal examiner bug reports. Interestingly, these classic system crashes have very little to do with raw mathematical ability. Here are the top 3 ways candidates leak easy marks. Number 1, confusing cause and effect. For instance, a candidate might think a high dividend yield actually caused the share price to drop, rather than realizing the share price dropping is the variable that caused the yield to appear mathematically higher. Number 2, forgetting the format and presentation conventions we just debugged with DevSam. And number 3, providing answers that are completely disconnected from the context given in the prompt. I want you to hard-code this quote into your memory right now. The classic mistake is providing generic answers not specific to the question context. Always link every point to the given scenario. This is the ultimate examiner firewall. If the prompt tells you a company is a rapidly expanding tech startup, and your evaluation relies on generic, pre-programmed textbook facts about stable utility companies, your code will be rejected by the firewall. Your answer must be a custom-built patch for the exact scenario provided.
Now, to help keep this fresh under intense exam pressure, let's run an interactive reader audit. Imagine a 60-second visual countdown clock running on your screen right now. I want you to run a trend extraction by creating your own memory hack, a mnemonic using the first letters of dividend per share, dividend yield, and dividend cover, DPS, DY, DC. Think of it like defining a quick macro, maybe something like directly paying shareholders drives yields and delivers confidence, whatever logic works for your brain. Come up with one right now to help lock these 3 distinct but deeply connected metrics into your long-term storage.
Entering our final stage, Section 4, Deconstruct, Solve, Evaluate, the ultimate weapon. When you are staring down those intimidating, high-tariff past paper prompts that hold massive system privileges and points, this is the exact cheat sheet architecture you will use to hack them. Step 1, deconstruct. Don't just start blindly typing code. Identify the given information and break the problem down into logical, bite-sized steps. Step 2, solve. Run the calculations systematically, and crucially, check your outputs for reasonableness. If your dividend per share is somehow mathematically higher than the total revenue, catch that fatal error before you compile. Step 3, evaluate. Take your perfectly solved data and make a justified, context-specific recommendation for the company.
And that final step relies entirely on evaluative thinking. It's the ability to evaluate alternatives, compare different approaches, question the hidden assumptions the company might be making, consider the perspective of different users like shareholders versus directors, and finally, justify your decisions with hard, calculated evidence. Applying this exact architecture elevates your response from a merely descriptive, basic data string, which only gets average marks, all the way up to the analytical, high-scoring levels that examiners absolutely crave.
Let's quickly review our final high-scoring optimized text string. First, always prioritize analytical depth over superficial breadth. Don't be a dev Alex. Second, follow strict presentation conventions to earn those method marks. Format your syntax. Third, never ever push generic textbook code to the examiner firewall. Always tie it back to the specific context. And finally, when facing a complex algorithmic problem, rely on the deconstruct, solve, evaluate framework. Take these exact strategies and go beta test them on a past paper question immediately.
I'll leave you with this final prompt to carry into your next study session. When you log into that next past paper, what unique context will you extract from the scenario to truly prove your evaluative depth? Before you log off, I need you to do 3 things to finalize this patch. Subscribe to Ace the Exams, click that notification bell so you never miss a system update, and drop a comment down below with your exact subject and tier level so we can custom build our next hackathon for you. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and I'll see you in the next masterclass.